Morning, how you doing? It's a great day. Okay, these files, I've tried to find a good supplier of them. I'm afraid you're stuck with trying to get them on eBay. There's several of them out there. Uh, these ones that I've got here, I can't remember which one I got them for. I got them for 11.75 a piece. I bought three of them. Uh, I'm gonna get somebody that has these where you can just go and buy them, and we know it. Morning, Daryl. How you doing, buddy? And but right this second, I don't have a really great supplier for them. Uh, I want to show you something. I'm gonna read the note. Look at this, Iron Horse. Well, it's steel. Well, we're gonna call it Iron Horse. I love this, man. Curtis, buddy. I'm gonna put this right on my weld bench. On the back, it's steel. I'm gonna get a couple magnets. I'm gonna hang that up, and it's gonna be there forever. We talked about painting it and one thing and another. You know what I think I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna scuff that, lightly oil that, and that's gonna be that. I love this. Here's what Curtis told me. Hello, Harvey. I found this on the ground out behind the weld shop years ago, so I picked it up and put it in my pocket. And when I found it in my garage the other day, it immediately made me think of the Iron Horse. So I figured you may get a kick out of it. Thank you, Curtis. No, Curtis, thank you, buddy. You know, little things like that let you know you got friends. You know what? Don't it? I think that's just wonderful. That is so freaking cool. And to think the evolution of this, it came from a piece of steel, was cut, got tossed on the ground. Man picked it up, threw it on his bench. Years later, I get it. This thing's traveled. And that's something else, Curtis, buddy. Thanks. It's little things, just little things. That's what makes life go around. I really appreciate it. Uh, I want to show you something here. It says 395 on it, but it's a 394. Trust me, it's made in 1998. Uh, Look, what the heck happened to that? I mean, my goodness sakes, friggin' laser or something. And the top was broke up, so he just got some camo duct tape, and the side cover was broke, which I got another one of them. And the general condition is it's been logged with. That's general condition, okay. But I'm gonna tell you something right now. It's got compression, believe me. And I fiddled around with this saw, and I got it for the right price. I believe anyway. It was good for me. And I said, well, the other day, I was waiting on some parts to come. They weren't here. It was a little late, so I screwed with this. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Most saw problems are simple. In a lot of cases, they're simple. There's something like carburetor, or you got an air leak, or one thing or another. I mean, that's just the way it is. Spark plug. Okay? Well, I got the thing running. It was a little hard to start, but I get her going, fire it off, and let it idle. Hell, I'd idle 10 minutes. You go bar it up and try to cut something with it, just gag right out on the top. I was like, my goodness sakes. So you think, well, geez, that sounds like a bad piston. So I tossed it in the corner, and I said, I'll get to it when I get to it. Well, I got it back out, and I fiddle farted around, checked the spark plug. No, that was brand new. Somebody already knew they had a problem. And the story was, man, needed a little money to do something with, and he said, well, I'm just going to sell this saw. Well, you get sick of messing with them after a while, believe me. And if you're logging, this obviously hadn't been logged with in a long time, but it has been logged with. It's just got all the earmarks. And so I said, well, what the heck? I got a whole bag full of fuel filter. I put a new fuel filter in that. That thing lit right up, and it hit the top RPM. I said, wow, need a little adjustment, adjust the carburetor. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful saw. I got lucky. Normally, I get an old saw like this. You got to at least put a piston in them or something. And, okay, now what we're going to do with this one. I intend on porting this. And hopefully I can get it done, have it a buckinstock. If I don't, no matter. I got other fish to fry. Found a side cover. It's in the mail. Found a brand new Husqvarna top cover with air cleaner lid. It's in the mail. The hardest thing I did was try to find this side cover sticker. And you can't find the darn things. Well, there was a company that makes them. And I happened to be browsing around and I found them. So they're going to repop some of these for me. So I'll have the actual 394 sticker on this. Side cover I got's got a bunch of scratches in it and one thing and another. And I'm just going to clean this tank up and do whatever I got to. I actually might paint some of that. I don't like doing that, but if it'll clean up, I'll do it. But we're going to make this a pop a little saw, I think. I really like the 394s. I actually like 395s quite well, too. The 3120 is just a big beast. They're not a fast cutting saw. They can be made fast, but they're real big and heavy. A lot of guys at mill use them. But I'm pretty proud of this whole thing right here. When I get a saw like this, I get to know the man by working on his saw. Okay? I can tell you what he did for maintenance, what level he was at, the things he done with it, and in a lot of cases, what he was actually cutting. This got fairly good sized dogs for East Coast dogs. You can see that right there. And I'll take another. But he wasn't cutting a lot of big oak because the whole front of the saw is generally mashed right in because of the bell. And he was, if you used it for bucking logs, he was darn good at it. I can tell you that right now. That's just little earmarks, but that camouflage tape, actually, it looks pretty cool, I thought, but yeah, we're going into it with some new parts. Okay, that's about enough of that. Get my old bench out. Cleaning up my old 66 I showed you the other day. That 46, I got a new handle coming for that, and one thing and another. Gonna dial that up a bit. I don't think I'm gonna hot rod that one. Doesn't have much time on it. I pulled them off there, and on the back of the intake side, I can still see the horn marks. So I don't hot rod a saw that's that new. I love doing them when they've got a bunch of time on them. They start fading with power a little bit. They're a prime candidate right then. I'm not taking any max in until I get that cylinder. I figured out in that piston. You guys know what's going on there. We're getting them bored and replated and having a piston made. It's another evolution process. And I'm starting with the 1010s. Once I get them, I'll probably do 800s, 850s, or something like that. I'm gonna try to whack away. It's gonna take time to get that all done. I get really tired of having one that runs pretty good, and then you get it apart. It's like, man. And it's not that I'm too fussy. I'm not. I just know what I can get away with and what I can't. And then I got a saw here for 3 darn months trying to find a cylinder. So I go buy 2 or 3 more saws. Finally get enough parts to put one together, and you can't charge somebody for all that. You want to. If you did, you would never get any. I like working on them. I don't think I don't. I mean, if you got one that just plain ain't right and you want to get that running better one thing or another, we'll talk about that. But it's just, we need to really work on these Macs. We got to get it straight. We really do. I don't work on saws that's got electronics. Don't even ask me. Okay? If you email me and you got a saw, you tell me right out in the email whether or not that's got electronics on board. If it does, don't think it. I'm not going to touch it. I like working on the 372s, 390s, 394s, 395s, 3120s, 2100s, 2101s, the 266s, 268, 272. I had several of you ask, well, gee, I want one built just like Buckins. They're expensive. You don't want me to do that. And quite honestly, I won't. Okay, Buckin knows that's a firecracker. When you spend good money on a saw, you expect that to last. I can't guarantee nothing. That saw ain't coming apart. I know it. Not the one Buckin's got. But I'm going to tell you, it's a trick. And let's just leave it at that. Let's leave it the trick. Let's leave it to one that I built. And that's Buckin's. All right? I want to talk to you something about some of this filing. Uh, First thing I'm going to tell you right now, I'm using just my phone and just blah, blah, blah. You can see it. Uh, that ain't good enough. Not for filing. We have GoPros. I actually know how to use a GoPro. I know where the button is. Uh, what I can't do is edit very good. Okay. Daryl Van Hammer Slammer sent me a nice little iPad that, and I put iMovie onto it, and I got a reader to read SD cards. Now, from what I see and what he sent me, that's gonna step my game up. Ordered one of them old I buttons like Buckin uses. I learned the value of that by watching his videos. I'm learning from you guys too. You guys teach me things. You just don't know it. But I'm gonna tell you, I learned from you guys. Uh, this is what the world's about. I appreciate that. So, especially the last video, I didn't realize what I was in for. You can't get clear with a phone right up close. It's just not going to happen. I'm going to make it happen. Hopefully you got enough out of it. If you want to try chisel filing, great. Uh, if you run into a problem, email me. It's no big deal. Just tell me what this doing, and it's not for everybody. I'm gonna warn you that. It just ain't. Once you get where you can do it, you can sharpen a chain way faster than you can with a round file. But you got to get there, and you don't need your acres as low. It just wants to cut. Now, I'm going to tell you what my theory is on these rakers. When they're a point like this, that has a tendency to want to ride up into the wood, and it changes the angle here. Okay, and the reason I do them flat, especially when they're halfway, the distance and between the raker and the tooth is longer, so the raker hold it down. When that's flat, that don't just jump up and down between every ring, and it does. Okay, now when you're using them filing depth gauges for these, they end up being at an angle. Don't think I don't use one of them, because I do, but I tell you what I do is I use that. I keep it in my pocket, and you know how it goes. It just bumps up against the heel of this tooth here, and then against the point. And I'll check them periodically to see where I'm at. And I use that as a check gauge, you know, pretty much. Well, what it does is on the back side of that tells me, or up on that leading side, that tells me what the depth is. Okay, so I do use them. I just don't use them to do my rakers. I just kind of freehand everything. I don't know what to tell you. That's a lot of this isn't for a general homeowner. I want you to know what loggers do so that you know, set your sights high. Learn this stuff. It's not that bad to learn. And don't overcomplicate it. It'll make your life easier. Now, I want to talk to you about something. What do I expect at buckinstock? First thing, I expect to meet a lot of darn good people. And I expect to have one hell of a good time, straight out. And I'm gonna. That place is gonna automatically be fun. I ain't got to do something to make it fun. Okay, so that's what I'm looking forward to. But I've been to some of these little shows and one thing and another, and this is more than that. There's a lot going on here. I'm really impressed with this second year out, how much is going to be happening, and it's going to be quite a nice little crowd, I believe. But these shows sometimes in areas end up being a little bit of a free for all. I haven't even talked to Buckin about this, so don't get mad at me, Buckin, if you watch this video. But I'm going to tell you something, guys. We as human beings like to have too much fun sometimes. And what I've seen in the past, with anything that's got sharp objects men turn into little boys and we start having way too much fun. Well, you know, let's keep ourselves in check. If you got safety gear, bring it. Don't pick a power saw up. I'm sure they have a waiver or something you got to sign to use your saw there. I mean, for the bike things, everywhere we go, you got to sign off saying if you kill yourself with this damn thing right here, that it ain't our fault. And so I'm going to assume this, okay? I'm assuming. Let's conduct ourselves in a real friendly, civil manner. I don't think it's a great idea to go saw racing and you know, if it's a structured thing, I think that's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. But let's see what that does. And I think anything to do with the axes or anything else. I know it's alcohol free, and I'll tell you what, if it wasn't, I wouldn't go. I would not, because that would have been a bad deal. So let's respect that too, because I know what some of you guys are thinking. Yeah, I just hide that in the cooler of my truck. Okay, you go ahead and do that. If you do that and I catch you, I'm going to tell you on a personal level what I think. Okay, I do anyway. I mean, it's different. My world ain't going to change. But let's be respectful. And let's learn from each other. Let's get to know each other. And another thing, this ain't going to be about me. This is Buckin's game. Let's support him and everything that's going on. The man is going to be a busy, busy guy. We all want to talk to him. Christ, I want to talk to him bad as hell, you know. Let's give the man a little space. This is just my thoughts. Plain and simple is my thoughts. Leave in the comments if you think I'm right or wrong. Yeah, I know you'll get some of you say, well, I'm going to do what I want, but no, you won't, because y'all good people, every one of you. Every damn one of you. Not a one of you. Even you, that dude that does the thumbs down all the time, I get a charge out of you, buddy. These thumbs downs, they don't give a rat's ass about that, I don't. I'm going to tell you why, because I don't give a flying boo-boo if this channel grows or not. You guys are making it grow. Okay? But you that's doing that thumbs down, keep it up. I don't care. Because I got your attention. You're watching me. I got you. And you can't break that chain, can you? Good for you. That's enough about the buckinstock thing. If you got safety gear, bring it. Find somebody with a piece of paper, sign it. I assume wait your turn. I don't know really what's going on. I haven't even talked to anybody about this, but I just been through a lot of these shows, and I know that it can get chaotic. And let's not put pressure on people that really don't need the extra, but let's have fun. And I mean it. Any of you loggers out there, I want you to leave me a comment. The loggers. If you're in hardwoods and a mixed hardwood, softwood, how many of you actually change your angles when you're coming up over a ridge and you get into where the conditions change? I do, and I mentioned that. And I got thinking, you know, a lot of you guys aren't loggers, and I'm going to confuse you on that. If you're not a logger, stick with that 30-degree angle and get good at that. And then you'll notice when you move just a little bit one way or another, the tendency of what is that saw going to do. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Don't fall in this trap if you want to impress yourself or your buddies. Don't take your darn rakers down so far. Okay? The one thing I hate is a saw that I pull on that and that thing just caps out because it just can't pull it. You take them rakers are a depth gauge. Use them just for that. There's no override for that, okay? I run saws without a dog on it, short dogs, long dogs. It didn't matter to me what I run because I know the value of letting the chain ease through and pull, let that saw come up. Bill Block told me something, and I knew this. Bill, buddy, listen to this one. He says, Harvey, I don't care if you're grinding or machining or running a power saw or a piece of heavy equipment. He says, all about feeds and speeds. And I stopped and I says, well, yeah, I'm a machinist and a fabricator and I never worked at McDonald's or nothing like that, though. I know girls that did. Yeah, enough about that. But anyway, when you try to take what horsepower you have available and make that cut faster, you're not going to do it by taking your acres down, because then you got too much feed. Okay? It's just not going to work. So, feeds and speeds, Bill Block. Well said. Let it cut. Don't make it cut. Let it cut. Just let it happen. I don't get real aggressive with my rakers. And any changes I make when I'm coming up over a ridge, let's say that we've been cutting some white oak, and I come up around into this valley, and it's got some nice northern pine there, and I see about 60 of them big suckers, and I know that I can cut them faster. I still got to limb them. You got to think about that. I'll go ahead and take a swipe off. I might even lead my angle a little bit, because I know when I get to that point, it's going to be dull halfway through again. I don't sit there when my chain is already set up for average conditions. When you got mixed timber, you just run the best you can. Average. You can't sit there and mess around. Anything that I talk about is for production log and numbers. It isn't really meant for anything else. But it'll help you guys that aren't loggers, you know. But learn it one step at a time. That's what I ask you to do. And don't frickin' get crazy with them rakers. That'll get you hurt, if you want to know the truth. It really will. You'll bust teeth off. How many of you have had teeth bust right off your saw? You think, oh my God, this saw's so powerful. That's why it did that. Raise your hand. Yeah, you. Leave comments. I've done the same thing. When I was younger, I wanted to burn the world up, and I did it. Where I couldn't sharpen as good as I should have been able to, I'd just take them rakers down and let it make a big old thick hogger chunk, and I used to break teeth off. I really did. I haven't done it in years, because I learned finesse is what gets you through the day. When you're fighting a saw and that's pulling you into the friggin' wood and that's pushing you out and one thing and another, you could take them dogs right off that saw, and it's still going to do that. Okay? I think I probably pissed a few of you off. Good. You're listening. I don't care. But I don't want you hurt. Okay? I don't want to tell you something to get you hurt. So, smooth and easy is your best way to cut. You're not wasting your energy. Try that chisel filing if you mind to. And I'm going to have to do another video about that at some point here once I can edit. And it won't be very long. And I think over the next few days I'm going to concentrate on that. So if tomorrow I don't get a video up, which is my intention actually, I'm trying to learn something myself, okay? We all got to learn. And we do it from each other. Thank you so much.